How's it going, YouTube? It's been a while. It's your boy, Destroy All 24. This is not my 2011 Honda Fit. I have since moved on from my little red hatch to this car. I got this about a week and a half ago or so. It's a 2008 Nissan Altima SE Coupe. Two-door, obviously. It's got these hideous wheels and pretty roach brakes, but you know, we'll get to that eventually. But it's got a pretty roach paint job, but again, like I said, we'll get to that. Only had it for like a week and a half, like I said, so. But I have done a few things to it, and I reckon I'd show it off, because it's pretty cool, you know, for what the car is. And I'll show you why. Even though some of you might know the SE is a VQ, they very rarely came in a 3-pedal manual. I can manually change the gears in this car, which makes it pretty cool. Very rare in a 2-door. I mean, the 2 doors are already kind of rare. Not totally, like, there's a few in the city I live in, but they're all like base S model 2.5 CVT autos. But that right there, that transmission is what makes this extra special. And of course the VQ. And I'll go ahead and pop the hood and show the sideways VQ. But everything mechanically on the car is perfectly fine. Excuse the bad camera. There we go. That is a sideways VQ. I'm pretty sure it's got brand new valve covers and gaskets. They're a little dirty, but they look very, very clean. And like I said, the thing is mechanically sound, so I went ahead and threw this on there, and I'll get to that in a minute. But it's got 161,000, well, 161 and a half. I don't know if the clutch has ever been done, but if it's got 161,000 and a V6 with 270 crank horsepower from the factory, I would assume that the clutch had to have been replaced at one point in time. It feels really good. It pulls in 4th and 5th from low RPM, which I know you're not supposed to lug like that, but that's how you test the clutch if you didn't know. And it puts the power down. You know, the revs don't go through the roof and then you know, do terrible things to your transmission. But so yeah, with that being said, it shifts gears like crazy. I bought the car with some minimal problems. An AC line is busted, but when they did do the recharge and the dye to test for leaks, when they found that, they did get the car to like 42 degrees, freezing cold, so that means the condenser, the evap core, heater core, which the heater works perfectly fine, and the condenser and all that shit is perfectly okay. So the only thing I'm concerned with is that line, and then I have AC. Other minor problems, I guess less than minor, are the brakes and was the suspension. I'll get to the was in a second, but these brakes looks like they cheaped out and got calipers way back in the day, so these look like they're really good. The pads look kind of fresh because there's riding on them. However, these rotors are fucked. I think this guy had a port sticker from where he worked on his car. So I think, even though I'm in the Southeast, and it looks like this car has been in the Southeast its whole life with the melted Nissan Classic dash and the classic Nissan clear coat exiting the chat, you know, Southeast Georgia things. I think that very little salt corrosion, but there was some salt corrosion just because I think where he worked and the ports. And I think he was a smoker too, because this window and that window are stained, and so is the windshield. I was able to get these windows mostly cleaned up. This one's still kind of, yeah, but new window tint and taking off the factory tint on the inside of those windows will help. This windshield, I don't know how I'm gonna get that bullshit out. If you can see that. I think that's all from smoking cigarettes, unfortunately. But tires are really boring. Commuter tires, you can see they're super thick sidewalls. 17-inch chrome. I don't like them, but you know, I paid very little for the car, considering it's actually kind of a special version of the Nissan Altima. I know that's a bit of a redundant statement, or an oxymoron, but it's pretty fucking fast for what it is, dude. Even though it's ugly as shit, and it's got these bum ass tires and these fake ass chrome wheels on here. But so yeah, like I said, the brakes are a problem. They don't squeal because I think these pads are new. You can see it really good right here. I think these pads are new, but they cheaped out and didn't do rotors, obviously. Oh, Nissan door, it closed by itself. Yeah, so if you didn't know, the coupes, and this goes for G35s, because this is basically a front-wheel drive G35. I mean, I'll get to the interior in a second, and you'll see really what I'm talking about. But the doors are super heavy compared to the sedan Altima, just like the sedan versus the coupe G35 and G37s. The doors are just way heavier because there's got to be more support, you know. So if you get T-boned, you don't fucking die. So that window regulator on the passenger side is out, yeah, over there. That's another problem. Melting dash, the bad paint. The suspension was shot, and we just replaced all that yesterday. So I went with Detroit axle, OEM replacement struts, front and rear, with end links for the front and rear as well, and then Megan Racing lowering springs, the orange ones. So they still have to settle because I literally did it last night, and almost always the rears are going to be lower than the fronts when you do lowering springs, in my experience. But it sits way lower, even though you see that gap right there. But you know, 18 or 19-inch wheels with better tires would fix the fitment. It's a little tucky in the rear, and it's got a little bit of camber. But it sits pretty good, and you know, compared to all four corners of the suspension being completely blown out and being replaced with OE replacement stuff, and even maybe less than OEM quality springs, it rides so much better, so much better. Bumps don't send my steering wheel into a frenzy, and it doesn't feel like I'm gonna fucking die. So the intake is just cheap ass eBay intake, XYZ tunes. If you're looking for this for your 3.5 Altima or Maxima, not bad. The only thing these brackets that came with the heat shield just didn't make any sense, so we just made our own. I won't get into that because it's kind of ghetto. And the back line that they gave you with the kit, the crank vent line they gave you was trash, so I just had to buy this hose for that from Advanced for $3 to finish the whole thing. But as far as like the heat shield, the filter, that's included. Obviously it's welded on, the coupler and all the clamps, but no instructions, so L there. But it's designed so that your factory intake ram ports right here to the side. You know, as you're going down the road, you're getting fresh air in that cone filter space. But yeah, restored the headlights, so they look pretty good. I'm gonna wrap the car in the future. I've got some body components that I'm gonna get on the car eventually as well, but heated leather seats. Rears are not heated. They rarely are, but excuse my shit, but pretty roomy back there, to be honest. Cup holders are very ample in this car. They got some in the door too, they're kind of useless. But 6-speed manual, reverse lockout. It's got this damn shit in here. Got a Bose speaker system from the factory. I had to replace a blown speaker, which was, another one of the small problems with the car. Another small problem is this is not hooked up at all. Steering wheel works, but horn, cruise, phone, volume, yeah, all that don't work. I gotta get this off to figure that out. It's got this compartment. It's got a glove box like usual. A center console with a little compartment down there. I got a Altima SR floor mat from work that was abandoned. And then I got donated an Infinity G35 floor mat. I know this video is getting very long-winded, but yeah. I'm gonna probably have to do a separate video if you want to hear it, but it don't have no exhaust on it yet. Well, it has an exhaust. It's just OEM and very quiet. I do like the OE diffuser though. That looks sick. But yeah, man. Thanks for watching my TED Talk about my Nissan Altima. That looks like shit. It's a cool car. Feels really good. Very happy with this purchase. Take it easy.